we have to become the embodied field of actualization of those very things we talk about. Not that we need to be perfect, not that we need to be completely there, but more than anything, we need to embody the sentiments of the invitational space, the invitational permission to become what we are presencing. And so the development awareness offered that the majority of people, a great majority of people, I don't know whether it's 85 or 90 or 95 or 97%, but a great majority of people continue for most of their life to work on the same pattern, the same issue that they are grappling with. The details are changing, the environment, the players, they continually shapeshift. But essentially at core, they're working on the same pattern. And there is nothing wrong with that. It's not that if you spend your entire life reworking the same pattern, there is something wrong with that. It is simply what is. There is no value judgment. It's an observation. And then that only a very small percentage of people completely resolve the pattern, resolve the issue. And when they do, guess what? They move on to work on the next pattern, because that's the planetary deal. We are in the flesh, in this boot camp of experience, a spirit being, conscious being inside the human experience, to work through issues, to work through patterns, such that we resolve these and we bring the value of this experience to the collective consciousness that we come out of and to which we proffer our experience. In my experience, the few and small percentage that get to work through and resolve the pattern completely, first of all, often discover that they actually didn't resolve the pattern completely, and the pattern reappears in new ways. But secondly, if they do, often special circumstances are involved. They do so not just for themselves. They do so for service work, for leadership calling that they were summoned into and for. They do so because of some destiny form. They do so because they enter a representational contract or covenant where they work on behalf of a cause, behalf of an issue, that then accelerates them almost to go through and experience a few lifetimes in one. But it was very important when we talked about this to offer the demarcation, the awareness that the second category is not better than the first. There is no one better than the other. It's simply what is. And there is more a sense of acceptance and judgment-free awareness and recognition of where am I in this theater of development possibilities. And then people often ask, so but what do you mean when you say the pattern or the issue? Well, most patterns, most issues, they appear with some kind of a relational dynamic. And just as a sampling, the offering was that a person's core struggle or core pattern tends to show up in relationship with other people, maybe with a specific person, an important or person you're living with, or another close-in person, or your relationship with your self-view, your relationship with your body, your relationship with money, with food, with gender issues, with power, with authority figure, with truth, with God, with death, with politics, with religion, even for some relationship with an object, a car, a mobile device, and so on. So whatever it is, and even if on occasion the issue actually travels through different relationships and is more representing similar archetypal nature, which we will come to in a little bit when we get to the shadow piece, then that was the development awareness that was offered on the front end. Let's see if there is anything that comes alive for you to reflect on that.
Well, the piece that is really reverberating is when we have resolved a pattern. Oh, but we haven't completely resolved it. Well, what I get is there are levels, like you were saying, and at the personal level, which consists of content from our lives that we can identify as an experience that we might have lived through, for instance, or something we might have inherited, but it's somehow very personally relevant. So we can work that out completely. And then guess what? There are other levels of our very own being, transpersonal layers. So now we are also a collective, our lineage and our culture, and perhaps our nation, the species, all of life. All of these are layers of our being. And so what I've found is, well, I have a premise, which is if it's anywhere in the world, it's in me. So I never completely resolve the pattern if it's in the world, but it's not present anymore personally. It's present transpersonally. And so now, and so this is a bit esoteric, but because I've done the work, and there are areas where I have, life says, fantastic, here's somebody who knows what to do. So let's give him now like a dump truck full from the USA's energy field. And, you know, as an example, so I get to do it again now for the collective, but with tools and with resources. And so my sense is this could be world work. In other words, we can each potentially do world work on the foundation of the good personal work that we've already accomplished. And therefore, it's not a sign that we somehow failed or missed it. It's that because we did the work and we were successful, that now we get to do it again with a broader scope and a greater impact in some sense. It's beautiful.
Along with our website at portalsofperception.org, Portals is also available on YouTube and on all podcast platforms, as well as social media. You can become an active member and join the conversation in community events. And you can help us get the word out by liking this content and by sharing it with your friends.